So the time has finally arrived, the moment that a lot of people predicted was going to happen at some point. For me, it's happened sooner than I thought it was going to happen. I thought it would happen eventually, but I didn't think it'd be this soon. Billericay Town are for sale. Glenn Tamplin's had enough. He's out of here. He's going. He don't want anything more to do with Billericay, and we're going to find out why in this video. So, a little bit of a background on who Tamplin is. He took over Billericay in December 2016, then installed himself as manager at the start of the 17-18 season. So far, he has invested around about £2.5 million in the club, making notable signings such as Paul Konchesky, Jermaine Pennant and Jamie O'Hara. Also made a lot of improvements around the ground. He's known for being quite extravagant, got some murals on walls around the grounds. He's also painted the interior of the changing rooms with loads of lions on the walls because he wants it to be a lion's den. It's all a bit of a circus. It's a very unconventional way to run a football club. He's a man who's got no experience in football whatsoever, in terms of the coaching side at least. He's got no coaching qualifications, no experience, yet he took the manager's role for the 17-18 season. He was there until the 24th of February, where he sacked himself as manager, appointing Harry Wheeler as manager, who was his assistant, and then 24 hours later, reappointed himself as manager and made Harry Wheeler his assistant again. Then fast forward another 2 months to the 4th of April, and he's again sacked himself as manager, making Harry Wheeler the manager, and that's how it stayed. Billericay got promotion last season from the 7th tier to the National League South this season. They've started off really well under Harry Wheeler, 4 wins, 1 draw, and then on the 29th of August, they were losing 2-0 against Chippenham Town, and 5 minutes before the end of the game, Tamplin sent Wheeler a text basically sacking him, but it's all under a bit of a cloud. It wasn't reported by Billericay. They are still yet to put out an official statement on this matter. It was put out by local newspapers, and even on Bank Holiday Monday, 2 days later, when they had a game and Harry Wheeler wasn't there, the team was managed by Tristan Lewis, their first team coach. It all was a bit strange. Then fast forward to Saturday, the 1st of September, they were playing against Woking, a top of the table clash. Woking won it 2-1, but in charge in the dugout was Glenn Tamplin once again, his 3rd spell as manager. It was after this game that he did quite a bizarre interview with the National League. He looked very uncomfortable on camera, people suggesting that he could be on drugs, which I think is quite an unfair thing to say just by watching him in an interview, although he was acting very awkwardly and abnormally. And some of the things he was saying in this interview, he was talking about how Harry Wheeler probably isn't the man that is going to be in charge in the future for Billericay, and he's got someone else in mind. He's going to have interviews with them this week.
But I won't go anywhere. I'll hang around.
But after the game, due to this interview, there were 2 separate phone calls to the police reporting Tamplin for potentially using drugs, of which the first time he was checked at the ground, given an all clear according to Tamplin, and then the second time when he was driving home, his kids were in the car, apparently they were in floods of tears, and Tamplin basically recorded this interaction with the police when he was pulled over, and then they posted it on the Billericay Town Twitter. And he described this as a step too far. He's dealt with a lot of hate comments and a lot of abuse on social media from a lot of people over the last couple of years that he's been at the club, but this, he says, has pushed him over the edge and it is too much and they've crossed the line. And he stated that he's cut all ties with Billericay Town. He's put the club up for sale because it's starting to affect his health and his family, and really that's fair enough. That is what matters the most, but you could see this sort of thing coming from a mile away. He's known for his knee-jerk reactions, sacking himself, then reappointing himself, then sacking himself again, and then reappointing himself and sacking Harry Wheeler, and then now staying in the statement that they released that he actually now wants to reinstate Harry Wheeler as the manager as one of the last actions that he does with Billericay Town. So it's just like, mate, your mind up, Glenn. What do you want to do with Harry Wheeler? Do you want him as manager or do you not? If I was Harry Wheeler, would you actually want to work for Billericay Town now? Would you want to work for Glenn Tamplin? Because he's essentially messed around with his career. 1 minute he decides he's manager, then he's assistant manager, then he's sacked. Like, it's crazy. There's no security, and the squad that they've got there is absolutely fantastic. Some of the players they got there, Jake Robinson, he scored like 50 goals in the last year. It's unbelievable what he's doing, and there'll be plenty of players that teams will want to take. But the money that some of them are on at Billericay is astronomical, and will clubs be able to afford to buy these players from Billericay? More worryingly though, Glenn Tamplin wants to find a new owner. Now there has been talk of a bid from current co-owner Andrew Casillas and Daniel Groves, so we'll see how that pans out. A lot of these players are on massive contracts that are 2-3 years long, and they're going to have to be paid in full, or they're going to have to come to some sort of agreement if the new owners cannot afford to pay them, and that's going to put the club into a lot of debt. That's the reason that when owners come in, have a bit of fun with the club, put the players on massive wages and then leave, that's why clubs generally struggle, because it is so difficult to find someone who's going to be willing to pay those contracts. And when the club's in debt and they have money loads of people, that is when they go bankrupt and drop down the leagues, and that's unfortunately what loads of people fear is going to happen. And the statement that was put out on the 2nd of September stating that Tamplin had put the club up for sale described it as the final statement. But is this the last we're going to hear from Tamplin? I definitely think that is not the case. He's known for his knee-jerk reactions, he's known for his U-turns on decisions. Will he come back to Billericay once he's had a few days to calm down? We will soon see. I would not be surprised to see this happen. It's just the same sort of thing that seems to have happened throughout his spell with Billericay. He's put so much into it, developed the club so much, put so much money into it. Will he be willing to just walk away? I'm not too sure. I think he'll be tempted back at some point in some capacity. Now, like the hate that's been directed towards him via social media over the last couple of years, he's just bit to it, he's responded, and that's the real problem, because people want to see that reaction from him on social media, and he gives them that reaction, he gives people that fix, and that's the downfall, I think. I think if he was less active on social media, first of all, there would not be as much controversy around the club because people wouldn't know about it as much. But yeah, do you think Harry Wheeler will end up being the manager at Billericay for the rest of this season? Let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think this is now the end of Billericay's real time in the National League South, going up the leagues? Are they going to drop straight back down now? Will a lot of the players leave? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and subscribe. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, about 2,000 away from that now. It's an ambitious goal, but hopefully you guys can help us get there. So yeah, I hope to see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.